All right, in this video, we're going to talk about aggression in puppies. First off, aggression is very abnormal in a small dog. When your puppy is very young, when you first bring them home, 8 to 10 weeks old, if you are seeing any sign of aggression, and that includes attempts to bite in order to protect things, biting at other people, and not like puppy play biting, but aggressive biting where there's stiff body language and growling and bites, or biting at other dogs, that is abnormal puppy behavior. And if you have your puppy as a pet, that might be a case where you want to consider your options. If you are seeing true aggression in your puppy or even in your adult dog, you definitely need additional professional help in order to make that decision of if this is something you can attempt to work through and if this is something that you can work to live with. Dogs are not simply a product of their environment. There is a huge genetic component to aggression as well. So if you are looking for a puppy, I always recommend that people look for a puppy that has a long family history of not having aggression and of having behaviors that you like to see, such as friendliness, maybe doing therapy dog work. They're able to be trained for maybe like an obedience show or something like that, so that you can set yourself up for success in having a puppy with a temperament that is as stable as possible. I kind of think of it like this. So we have a spectrum, okay? Over here, super friendly, outgoing, loves everyone. And over here, super aggressive and goes after every person or every dog they see. And your dog does not have the ability to go from this end to this end or this end to this end. Instead, within this overall spectrum, your dog might be here, where they're not quite aggressive to everyone, but they're somewhere on the aggressive / maybe tolerant of things. Or you could have a dog here, where it's not friendly to everyone, but overall more friendly than your dog that is here. And this smaller range is what is given to us based on your dog's genetics. So this is what we can't change because that is what their genetics code for as far as their range of friendliness to aggression. Within that smaller range, we can take behavior modification and we can push a dog to be more friendly, right? But if your dog's range only gives us this based on their genetics, we can't push them all the way over here. So it's important to consider genetics anytime you are looking at dog behavior, especially when you're looking at something that we know is very strongly genetic, such as dog aggression. There are different types of aggression, okay? There's aggression as in resource guarding, which they're protecting something. We're going to address that in a different video. But there's also human aggression and dog aggression. And a dog that is dog aggressive is not going to automatically be human aggressive and vice versa. Dogs know that I'm a person, right? You're a person, and they know what a dog is. So they can be dog aggressive and not human aggressive, and they can be human aggressive and not dog aggressive. The most important thing to pay attention to when you're trying to determine if your puppy has aggressive behavior is their body language. Puppy biting in and of itself is not aggression, right? It could be a very playful puppy that does not know how to use its mouth appropriately and has poor bite inhibition. So what you want to look for, in general, a happy dog is wiggly, okay? Their body is loose and they might play bow, they might wiggle their back end, they might have a wagging tail, and the tail, if it's wagging, should be loose and low and whole body wags and not stiff and wiggling at the tip. And they should have what we call a soft face, right? You shouldn't see tight wrinkles pulled up in their face. You shouldn't see stiffness in their face. Their ears, if they're flappy, might be drooped, or if they're pricked, they're just kind of relaxed and hanging out. And if your puppy is biting and nipping and doing all that and is still very soft and wiggly, your puppy is just playing inappropriately. Instead, where we want to get worried is if your puppy is stiff. Okay, so kind of the absence of behavior. And very stiff puppy, a puppy that is very upright, a lot of times they might be leaning forward on their legs, kind of offensive, rather than leaned back on their back legs and ready to retreat. If their tail is wagging, it's going to be upright and kind of stiffly wagging at the tip. They might have tension in their face. They might be showing their teeth. They might be growling, and they might be lunging, snapping, and biting. Biting actually has 5 different levels that we often consider. The first one being snapping, no contact, but they're biting air and they're biting at something. The second level of biting being where they made contact, there might be some bruising, but they didn't puncture skin. Level 3 bites are going to puncture skin, and they might leave just kind of a puncture or two, or there might be a couple, but it's going to be puncturing skin. And that puncturing of skin is only going to be like a 1/4 inch, not very deep at all, especially in comparison to their mouth. Then we get into upper levels of biting, where they are biting deeper and leaving much deeper marks with their teeth. They're sinking their teeth in further. They might be biting and thrashing and ripping, or biting and re-gripping. And the top level of bite is actually if they kill something, and that would be considered with a person or a dog. So there's a lot of different levels that we consider with bites, other than did your dog bite someone, especially when we're addressing how to deal with it. And this is kind of different when your puppies have those sharp puppy teeth, because they are much easier to penetrate skin with. So if your puppy has very sharp teeth, there's a very good chance that they accidentally punctured you, rather than if they have their more blunt adult teeth and they would puncture you with those. I have been bit at a level 3 bite where teeth punctured my skin once in my life, out of thousands of dogs that I have worked with. Dogs that bite people and leave punctures should not be the norm, okay? And part of that is that I'm able to set myself up for success so I don't get bitten. But part of it is that we shouldn't be expecting our dogs that bite our skin and leave punctures and leave marks, especially if they need medical treatment or anything like that. Those dogs need heavy, heavy management, and they are not likely to be rehabilitated into a good family pet.